Hi, everybody. I'm Marcelyn Bailey of ML Bailey Consultants, and you are inside of ML Bailey Consultants Live. Tonight, we're talking about an inspiring book I read recently. So, when you were in high school, well, let me tell you how it was when I was in high school. When I was in high school, my friends and I would get hung up on a book series, and one of us would get the book or the books, and then we would pass it around to each other. When one of us finished it, we would pass it to the other and the other and the other and the other until we all read the books. And I remember there was this one series, and it started with one book that was called Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. There was three of them: Flowers in the Attic, Petals in the Wind, and If There Be Thorns. We read those books and we were like all so into it. And we passed them around and around and around. And that's kind of been the way things are with me and with some of my besties, right? We love to read. And when we get a good book, we want to share it with each other. Well, the last really good series that I liked was Twilight. I read that, and of course, I had to read all of the books. So I borrowed it from one of my friends, and I read them, and I love them so much. Even my daughters wanted to read them, so I had to end up buying them. Well, I've kind of moved away from reading because I'm so busy, and I hate that because I love to read. I love mysteries, especially murder mysteries, and books that have a lot of intrigue where I'm trying to figure things out. But I've had to move away from it, right, from reading as much as I like, because I just don't have the time like I want to have. Soon enough, though, I will have the time. However, today I wanted to share with you a book that I read recently that I think is not only inspiring, it's also instructional. And this book I read I got it because of my business, my side hustle as a private practice therapist and a consultant, because I needed some inspiration at the time. I was really kind of floundering, and I really needed something to get me back on track. And I found this title and I went, oh, because the title of the book attracted me. The name of the book is You Are a Badass. So I'm going to hold that up so you can see it. You are a bad. Ooh, can you see that? Okay, there we go. You are a bad ass. This book this book is badass. I'm going to tell you. It's written by Jen Sincero. And I want to share with you why I really like it so much and what it has helped me to do. First of all, she writes like she's talking to her best friend. There's a lot of cussing in this book. So if you don't like curse words, and if you're kind of prudish, prim and proper, this may not be the book for you. But if you don't mind them, or if you really say, oh, wow, she can really cuss like a Marine, this is the book for you. She just lays things out. She tells really, really interesting stories about her life and her life experiences, and she uses those stories to illustrate her point. And I mentioned the cussing, not because I think it's a bad thing, because that's part of what attracted me to it. When I saw the title, You Are a Badass, I thought, who puts that on a book cover? There's nothing else about this book cover that is interesting. It's really rather plain. And then in big bold letters, you have You Are a Badass. I figured that if that was the title and if that's what it said, then there must be some butt kicking information in this book. And I'm right. There is. So let me tell you what's in this book. First of all, the book is divided into 5 parts. And in each part, she really deals with some poignant aspects of our lives. And this book really is a book that gets people going. It's to motivate you, it's to get you moving. It's not for you necessarily to just kind of say, oh, this was a nice book, it made me feel good. This book really kicks you in the butt and says, get up and do your thing. I know you have skills. I know you have talent. I know you have gifts that you're not using. So get up and use them. In the 5 parts, she talks about things like how you got this way. How you got this way really talks about your growing up experience and some of the core beliefs that you're carrying that prevent you from moving ahead, from taking your gifts and running with them because you're thinking, I can't do this. I don't have what it takes to do this. I've never done this before. So it really addresses those core beliefs. The second part says how to embrace your inner badass. Now, let's be honest. You know, sometimes when you look at other women, or if you look at men, but particularly if you're a woman and you look at other women and you're like, wow, she's really got it going on. Or wow, there's just something about her. Boy, why can't I be that way? In You Are a Badass, Jen Sincero actually talks about what you have within you and how to embrace that goodness, that spirit within you to get you moving. For example, one of the chapters, chapter 6, is entitled Love the One You Is. Yes, that's what it says. Love the one you is, meaning you have to love yourself. You have to think highly of yourself and you have to believe in yourself. So it goes through all of those things in the second part. Part 3, how to tap into the mother load. Okay, so how to really get yourself motivated and enable yourself to move forward. And she talks about things that we talk about here on ML Bailey Live. She talks about meditation, really getting in touch with your inner self. She talks about prayer. She talks about having a belief in a power that's higher than you. She really deals with your faith and deals with the things that undergird you, your foundation, the spiritual nature of who you are. In the fourth part, she says how to give over your BS already. Okay, now see, that was a big chapter for me because if you're like me, you tell yourself all of these things about yourself that's really not true. You know, that self talk, those thoughts that go around and around in your head that are negative, and those thoughts that keep you down and keep you from moving forward. For example, procrastination, perfection, and a Polish beer garden. Okay, so she tells a story. That's where the Polish beer garden comes in. She tells a story, but she really addresses the things that cause us to procrastinate and the things that make us feel as if we have to be perfect. Is that something that you deal with? I know that I've had my struggles with trying to be perfect. No one is perfect. No one. And Jen's book, especially part 4, helps us to understand how that prevents us, again, from moving forward. Then in part 5, basically, she says, okay, now it's time to get it moving. Part 5 is entitled How to Kick Some Ass. You know, and when I think about that, I often think about superheroes. You know, I love Marvel and I love the Avenger movies and they really get out there and they kick some ass, don't they? They get out there and they use what they have. They use their superpowers. And that's what she's trying to tell us. First, you have to make a decision. You have to be consistent. You have to be committed to what you're doing, and you have to move forward and draw upon all those things that she reminded us that we have within us. That's why I love this book. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I do recommend that you get it and you read it. The full title is You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. I got it because I needed something to motivate me to continue with my side hustle, to continue the work that I was doing, even though I was in a bad place. But it's not just for women who are in business. It's for women who have a dream or a desire that they want to reach and they need some motivation to get there. It's for women who are sandwiched between their children and their aging parents, and they feel like they're being pulled on both sides. Their arms are stretched out because they're being pulled one way or the other, and they don't have time, or they feel they don't have time for themselves. This is also for women who are working in professions that can be so frustrating because they don't have the answers to the problems that people bring them. They can only put a Band-Aid on those concerns. That's what this is for. You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. Shows you how to look inward so that you can give the best you can be and that you can feel fulfilled and satisfied. So when I read this book, and I read it often, and if I could show you, I could show you how it's marked up and how I've put asterisks by things and brackets, and I've underlined, because those are passages that I want to remember and to be able to go to quickly. But when I read this book, I found that I was inspired to do three things. First, I was inspired to decide whether I really wanted what I said I wanted. Wow. Sometimes we say we want things, but we say them. And until we put action with our words, we're not going to reach our desired outcome. So I had to decide whether I really wanted what I said I wanted. Secondly, I came to believe that I had everything I needed to accomplish what I desired. That was a big thing too, because sometimes we have a goal or we have a desired outcome, and we just don't believe that we have what is necessary to get there. In Jen's book, she teaches us that yes, we have exactly what we need to reach our desired outcome. And third, I began to plan and go for my desired outcome with all that was in me. That's what I needed to keep moving forward as it related to my side hustle business. I had to decide, first of all, do I really want to do I really want this business? And do I really want it to be successful? Secondly, I had to believe that I had what it takes inside of me to do what I wanted. And then third, I had to plan it, and I just had to commit to my plan. That's the way we can feel successful, we can sustain what we're doing, and we can be satisfied. So this is the book, the inspiring book that I read recently. And as I said before, I suggest you read it. Get it from the library if you don't want to buy it, but it is worth every penny you'll spend. You Are a Badass: Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. I'm Marcelyn Bailey. I'm glad you joined me. You might hear some thunder in the background. It is storming, but I wanted to be with you today to share this. Take care of yourselves, and as always, have a great evening. I'll see you soon.